When I moved to a little town in the south of France, I wanted a slower pace of life. I wanted the community and I wanted a better quality of life. What I have discovered is complicated logistics and cultural loneliness. 5 months ago, I moved from Berlin in the southwest of France to a tiny town where nature prevails. It's very beautiful and people are kind and friendly. However, now as I hit the 5th month mark, I'm realizing that two things are bothering me quite a lot. First is quite complicated logistics that create a lot of daily friction, and the second one is the cultural mix, let's say. I will explain about it later. So, logistics. I cannot drive. I don't have a car, I have an electric bike, which makes my movements quite restricted. At the moment, I am taking classes in the driving school, but it will still take some time before I get driving license. So with my electric bike, my movements are quite restricted because I can go to the city center, to supermarkets during the daytime. At night, where I live, it's pitch black because the house is located outside the city limits and it's literally located in the middle of the fields. It's extremely beautiful, but quite inaccessible when you do not drive. Do I need to tell you how difficult it is to commute from here to another city, or if I want to go to another country? Then I need to take several transports. I need to get a bus from the local bus station to the next city with a train station. From that city, I need to take a train to a bigger city with an airport, and then I travel normally. In case there is a strike or any problems in one of these transports, let's say if an airplane is 1 hour late, then the whole following chain of transports is falling down like a house of cards. And it makes it a little bit more complicated. So when I book a flight, let's say, I need to increase the window between each following transport to have enough time for me to catch the transport that I need. So it's a little bit complicated. I recently traveled and it was quite an experience. It took me almost 10 to 12 hours to travel from where I am to another destination, which was not fun because it made me quite tired and exhausted. Second point of friction is the cultural mix. It's not that the place where I live lacks cultural diversity, but the majority of people who live here are 60 plus. There are many foreigners as well, but their interests are quite different from mine, which is not bad because I have an exposure to completely different type of people whom I never met when I lived in urban areas. But it makes me feel a little lonely. As an entrepreneur, a creative person, tango dancer, I feel quite isolated and lonely here. Every type of interaction for me happens online. If there are any events in Toulouse or Bordeaux, for example, I need to take 2 transports and then I need to stay overnight because given the schedule of the local buses here, I cannot commute freely. On the weekends, there are 5 buses that circulate from my town to other places where I can pick a train. And on the weekend, there are only 2 buses, which makes my movements quite restricted. So if I go somewhere, even to Toulouse or Bordeaux, I need to stay there overnight. Which brings me to an important point. Was this whole effort of moving from Berlin to the south of France worth it? Is it something that I really like? There is no clear answer because yes, it's still worth it. There are many benefits of being here, and yes, I love my life here. However, in the next few months, I will evaluate whether the benefits are overweighting the constraints, and then I will make a decision. For the time being, I'm staying here because benefits are still overweighting discomfort. But I give myself a few months to see whether it's really the case. What makes me feel undecided still is the distance between my parents. I would like to see them more often, but the way to get to them, it's really far. My parents live in Ukraine, and as you know, currently there is war in Ukraine. There are no airplanes coming to Ukraine, so I need to commute by land, either by land, and it takes me approximately 30-35 hours from where I am, or I take a plane to Poland or Romania and then I cross the border by land. Being with my parents is extremely important for me right now. When I lived in Berlin, I could travel 2 or 3 times each year, even during this war, to be with them. It took quite a long time, but I still could do it quite easily. From here, it's a little bit more complicated. So it also puts this question of my identity, being close to my roots, in question. It looks like I complained a lot right now about the inconveniences of living here. But there are a few advantages. I enjoy this slow-paced life. I take my bike when it doesn't rain. When it doesn't rain and when it's bright outside, I take my bike, I go outside, I go into the nature with a book, with my laptop, and I work. And it's so brilliant, it cannot compare to working in a coffee shop. Then I really enjoy the local markets. Nothing can beat the quality of produce here. We know each other, we greet each other, they know what I usually buy from them, and this feeling of closeness, of community, makes me feel really happy and brings a lot of joy. I stop, I chat with them about the weather, how their week has been, and it feels extremely nice. You don't do this typically in the supermarket. At the same time, being here quite remote and isolated makes me more focused on my work, which has been great. I spend most of my day working with smaller breaks to go outside and to cook, but work has been my main focus. That's what I wanted, and there are absolutely no distractions, except that my neighbors come and want to have a small talk. Another benefit for me being here is that I met all these incredible people who are not in my bubble. When I live in a big city, my people are also entrepreneurs, creative people, expats, digital nomads. Here I made friends with older people. My best friend here is 82 years old, but she's also a knitter. So sometimes we meet and knit together. She shares her life stories, her experience, which has been really interesting and valuable for me. I am also learning for her because one day I will be 82. She's very youthful, joyful, she's into fashion, so we also have a lot to talk about. One day I will be this age. In a way, I'm educating myself how older people live, what are their prospects on life, their life philosophies, and I'm still learning. There's no real conclusion for me right now, but in these 5 months I have took enough different data points to see a pattern, to see certain gaps, but also benefits. And in the next few months, I will redraft how I imagined my future. And it's not good or bad, it's how it is. We are multifaceted beings, and we cannot just follow a linear path. There are so many things in this world that influence us. And I want to be open to all of these influences and still searching for who I am.